All students who took part in the practice literacy test are encouraged to watch this video while reviewing their own work. The main idea is what the paragraph is mostly about. Think of it like a table. The top of the table is the main idea, the legs are the supporting details. The main idea of this selection is to provide information on past and current occurrences in the Arctic. My example would be as follows. Polar bear survival in the wild may be in danger because of climate change. In this case, this person has only given a main idea from the text and really hasn't provided any supporting details. Climate change is endangering polar bear survival in the wild. Since climate change is lengthening the ice-free periods in southwestern Hudson Bay, the polar bears are stranded on land and away from their normal diet of seal meat during the summer, resulting in less fat buildup for the winter. In this case, the main idea is clearly stated in the opening sentence, and then the person goes on to make specific connections to support that main idea. The connections are clear, and therefore the response receives a level 30. When it comes to writing a paragraph and developing a topic, start with a specific sentence that outlines your idea. Next, provide at least one or two more sentences to support that idea, and then finish it off with a concluding sentence. To my school building, we can improve our school by planting trees out by our school. Although an idea is given as to how to improve the school, that being planting trees, there's really no information as to how this will actually help to improve the school. One improvement that could be made to my school grounds is better landscaping. I think it would make my school look prettier and more inviting. In this case, the person provides an example or suggestion as to how to improve the school, better landscaping. However, the reasoning for this suggestion, prettier and more inviting, are vague. More details are needed. One improvement that could be made to my school would be to invest in solar panels. My school and other schools use a lot of energy every day. With solar panels, it would decrease the energy from power plants or nuclear stations and help to decrease the use of energy used by millions all over the world. So this person gives a suggestion as to how to improve the school, solar panels. And then this person goes on to explain why this would be beneficial. They speak about the use of energy every day and how solar panels would decrease energy from power plants, nuclear stations, and also decrease the amount of energy used around the world. So as a result of those specific details to support their idea, this person scored a level 30. When it comes to writing conventions, focus on using capital letters, punctuation, and spelling. In terms of your sentences, reread them several times to make sure that they do make sense. We could have less violence because more violence you get nowhere, and less violence gives you more of an opportunity to get farther in life. In this case, the person has misspelled violence as well as opportunity. Also, this part of their sentence is very awkward, and as a result, the clarity is really not there. One improvement that could be made to my school building is to heat it in the winter warmer. By being cold, it is hard to learn, so if it was warmer, more people would be attentive and work harder. That way, students can work in a comfortable environment. Although this part of the response is somewhat awkward or unclear, it doesn't really interfere with what the person means. Similarly, this sentence, which starts off by being cold, it's unclear whether the person is talking about the building or students themselves, but either way, it doesn't interfere with the meaning. Always include the most important information at the beginning of your news report: who, what, when, where, why. Then add supporting information including key quotes from people who saw the event or participated in it. Then you can get into additional facts and background information, and ultimately the least important information happens at the end. In terms of the news report, you can score up to 60 points for topic development. And there are some key ideas that I wanted to highlight for you. In regards to the news report, you have to ensure that what you write is related to the headline and the photo. You focus on the event, use specific supporting details, and the writing is organized into paragraphs. If you do this, you are likely to score between 50 and 60 points. January 13th, 2011. Last night in the city of Kitchener came a big storm, closed down schools, roads, and businesses. It snowed 3 feet of snow. In the picture to the right, you can see residents helping out their neighbors to plow their driveway and sidewalks. For the kids that are not going to school, will probably have a really fun time playing in the snow, making snowman snow houses. This news report has some more details, but it's still not quite specific enough. They do name a city, but in terms of other specific details, that's where this news report could improve. So for example, there's reference to schools, roads, and businesses, and there's also a reference to residents helping out their neighbors. To improve, this person could have named specific schools, roads, or businesses and specific neighborhoods. The other thing that this person could do to improve their mark is add quotations from specific people, give them names, and make it a little more realistic. In a nice quiet town in Kitchener, Ontario, hundreds are left stuck in their homes due to heavy overnight snowfall on December 27, 2010. Most residents of the town are unable to leave their property because of the 2 feet of snow holding their vehicles hostage. Joe, seen clearing snow from his driveway, stated, "We have not seen such a bad storm since 1999. Most residents of the town are expected to be housebound for the next few days because the roads aren't expected to be cleared until December 30th, just in time for the new year." So this person scored 40 out of 60 because they did have some specific details. The quote here from one of the residents is a great touch, it makes it more realistic, but there are some details that require more information. So for example, this person wrote, "Most residents of the town and for the next few days." It's important to be more specific, and in doing so, you're likely to score a higher mark. Last December, Kitchener, Ontario suffered at the hands of Mother Nature. There was a huge snowstorm that left the citizens buried under 4 feet of snow. Schools and workplaces had to be shut down so the city could decide what to do and how to fix the mess. It took me over 3 hours to clear my driveway and another half hour to clear my car, says one citizen. Another local citizen, name, gave us his thoughts. "I woke up the first morning and looked out the window. My first thought was the kids are going to have a snow day. Then I got a call from my boss telling me not to come in today. My wife got the day off too. We spent the rest of the day trying to clear our driveway." A man who helped plow the roads gave us his opinion as well. "The snow on the roads was 4 feet deep and heavy. It took over 3 days and $1 million to get it all cleared up. The people of Kitchener really suffered the wrath of Mother Nature. Fortunately, no one was hurt and no basements flooded." This particular response received 50 out of 60 marks because it's clear, it's consistent throughout, and there are details that are realistic, and there are quotes used to support those details. Probably the difference between scoring a 50 and a 60 in this case is that some of the quotes are a little bit unrealistic. With respect to this one, for example, it's quite long, and maybe this person has overused quotations, but overall they've done a really nice job in writing a realistic news report that is connected to the headline and the photo. In terms of writing conventions for the news report, you can score up to 40 points. And the main difference between someone that scores 30 or 40 versus 10 or 20 really falls here with respect to the errors. If you make errors in your writing which distract from the meaning and what you intend to say, you're likely not going to score more than 20. However, if you do have some errors in your writing, whether it's spelling or grammar, there's still a chance that you'll score 30 or 40, provided that those errors do not interfere with what you're trying to say. We have had a lot of bad snow fails this year, but anything like this one. People are not even trying to get to work. The snow is 10 feet high, so no one is going anywhere. For a long time, some cannot even open their door to get out. It's been 3 days and the snow is still higher than ever. Just last night, the snow started again, but not as bad. We are trying to do something about it, but no one wants to get out there to the snow. It's really cold and wet. It started to rain. Well, it was snowing. In about 2 days, we should have all the snow cleaned up, we are hoping. This person received 20 out of 40 possible marks for writing conventions on the news report because, as you could probably tell while I was reading it, it had very little flow and it was difficult to understand the meaning as I was reading, and this is due to the fact that there are run-on sentences, missing punctuation, capital letters are not used, there are spelling errors, there are inconsistencies in terms of the number of days. So because of these things, because of these errors in the writing, that led to a mark of 20 out of 40. A record-breaking snowstorm shuts down the region of Waterloo for hours and left hundreds of people without electricity for up to 6 hours. Early Monday morning, Kitchener had a huge amount of snow drop down on them from Mother Nature. Many people had different thoughts on the storm when we asked them later that night. Mary Lou, a third grader from school, said, "I love the snow. It's so much fun to play in and we get a day off school." On the other hand, when we asked Mary Lou's mother what she thought of the storm, she gave a very different answer. "I don't mind the snow. Budgeting this much of it is just too much," she said. As we drove around some of the towns in the Waterloo region, we saw many people shoveling and cleaning up to 4 feet of snow off their driveway. I'm sure everyone will be happy to see spring coming up soon. This person scored 40 out of 40 in terms of writing conventions because, once again, the errors in their writing do not interfere with the meaning. So you can see that there are some spelling errors. However, as mentioned, those errors don't interfere with the meaning, and overall the writing flows well. As you look over your OSSLT practice test, think about how you did with respect to explicit information, making connections, developing a topic, and writing conventions within the news report. You can find this video on YouTube when you search SMH OSSLT Feedback 2014. There will be more announcements and more information about the OSSLT second semester.